On the agenda for tonight's live analysis, we're going back to 1966. We're going to be taking a look at Roger Miller and Thumbs Carllile, and they're going to be performing Do Wacka Do. Hello, Phil here from Wings of Pegasus, and welcome to another live analysis video. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. Hello there in the live chat room. Thank you, Orlando, for that early donation as well. So, we're going to be jumping into this video, and this video has come about because I did a video recently on Roger Miller, and I mentioned in that video that I wasn't sure who the guitarist was, and I have since found out from the comments section that it was Thumbs Carllile. So, in this performance, we have Roger Miller, of course, playing, performing, singing, but also we have Thumbs Carllile playing a little solo and a little bit of rhythm in the background as well. So, we'll have a little look at both him and Roger, and it's only a minute and a half worth of, or a minute and a half's worth of performance, so it's going to be a quick one. It might not be the full half an hour of analysis tonight, considering the brief video that we're going to be looking at, and it does cut out suddenly, so I'll try and stop it before it starts going into another video, and then we might have to watch an advert together or something like that. But let me get everything up on screen and we'll jump into the video and then jump into the analysis.
They tell me you're running free, your days are never blue. I wish I had your good luck charm. You had to do wacka do, wacka do, wacka do, wacka do, wacka do. I see you going down the street in your big Cadillac. Girls in the front, girls in the back, and away in the back you got money in the sack, both hands on the wheel and your shoulders right back. This is the hot lick that everybody always enjoys. I hear tell you're doing well, good things have come to you. I wish I had your happiness and you had to do wacka do, wacka do, wacka do, wacka do, wacka do. Thumbs don't play with me. Cadillac, you got girls in the front and got, don't make fun of me, right there in the back, you got money in the sack, hands on the wheel and your shoulders right back. We always do a highly informal show, and the higher we get, the more informal we are. I hear tell you're doing well, good things have come to you. I wish I had your good luck charm. You had to do wacka do, wacka do, wacka do, wacka do.
And there we have it. As you can see, the video's just about to cut out. But this performance is so good because of how light-hearted it is. And you've got to be good, technically, fundamentally, musically, in order to pull this off and be so relaxed about it. Because the way that Roger looks back and he says, "Are you making fun of me?" And they're talking during the performance. And you very rarely ever see this kind of thing. I did mention in that other video about Roger being that king of novelty song, but here it is performed so well, the solo by Thumbs Carllile. We'll try and break it down a little bit later on, and I'll be playing it the way that I play it, just the standard way, rather than putting my guitar on my lap and playing it over the top as Thumbs Carllile does in this performance. But the way that Roger Miller performs, and he stops halfway through the song and says, "Oh, this is the hot lick that everybody loves." And if you don't know what that means, it means a run or a lick on the guitar is a lead section that is just really cool, and especially when you're saying about, well, it doesn't have to be cool, but that's what Roger is referring to it as here, because everybody loves it, and it's just this kind of semitone rundown that he has. It's that kind of thing. I haven't worked out all of the notes, but then he sings over the top of it the second time round, so you can't even hear the notes anyway. So the great thing about this performance is that it's so easy to watch because you're comfortable not only with Roger, the way that he plays, he's so relaxed with his playing style as well, with the rhythm on that right hand, but also the rapport that the band have. You can tell that they all get on, and that the laughing that Roger's doing, you can also hear the band laugh in the background when he says about them making fun of him, but also the hot lick that he plays. So it is such a cool performance because it's really good from a technical standpoint, but people won't notice that. It'll fly under the radar because of the fact it is so lighthearted. And then he just stops playing. And he says it's a highly informal performance. And he says the higher we get, the more informal it becomes. And that's where the band laughs. So it's really cool to watch this performance and just get into it, because you don't see a lot of artists that are like this. First of all, at the level of playing ability, but just relaxed in front of a camera, being on stage, and just enjoying the performance so much. Because I always say that when people are enjoying themselves on stage, it really does filter through to the audience. You start to enjoy the performance and you get into that rapport that the artist has with his band, and that's certainly the case here. So let's jump into, because it's such a short video, I might take it all the way back to the beginning so that we can listen to it as we go, and then I'll break down the chords in case you do have your guitars out and you want to play along.
Tell me you're running free, your days are never blue. I wish I had your good luck charm. You had to do Wacka Do, Wacka Do, Wacka Do, Wacka Do, Wacka Do. I see you going down a...
Okay, so to start with, I mean, the guitar does go out of shot here, but it's going to be relatively straightforward. You're going to need your E, and hopefully that's going to be coming through okay. And we've got our A as well. We've got our E. We've also got the B7 in there. And it's all played down the bottom here. You'll see the way that Roger, when he is playing, bars that first finger. So we've got this... that kind of approach. The rhythm's really relaxed here as well. So when we get into that B7th, those are going to be your chords for the verse. We do have the... when we jump over to the Do Wacka Do's, we have... so that was just the E, and this is the way that Roger's playing it with his rhythm. He's barring with that first finger, so I'm going to bar that as well, but you can play it just as a straight A, like that if you want to, and that's all it is. That. And we also have these little stabs in there, so we have this B7th into the A. And I think we're just about to go into a G flat.
Street in your big Cadillac, girls in the front, girls in the back, and away in the back you got money in the sack, both hands on the wheel and your shoulders right back. This is the hot lick that everybody always enjoys.
Now I'll just stop it before the hot lick. So we had that, just one strum on that G flat before, then Roger starts talking. So pretty straightforward there. E. And it sounds like they play that E chord and then the top end of the E chord as a bit of a response. So we get that E, E, B7th, down to E, and A, E, G flat, stop, and then Roger starts talking.
I hear tell you're doing well.
And that run is more like... he just kind of sings over it. It's not strict at all. So what I was doing, probably going and picking out all of those notes, is not really like that. So it's a little bit tongue-in-cheek, just throwing away a little guitar run, singing over the top, and then we get back into the rhythm.
Things have come to you. I wish I had your happiness and you had to do Wacka Do, Wacka Do, Wacka Do, Wacka Do, Wacka Do. Thumbs don't play. Cadillac, you got girls in the front and got don't make fun of me right there in the back. You got money.
I just wanted to hear him say, don't make fun of me again. So, going back to that solo, we're going to break it down a little bit. But what I love about the solo is the way that Thumbs Carllile just throws it all together. It's top playing, no matter how you're playing this. Just standard way with the hand underneath the guitar, over the top of the guitar with the guitar on your lap. Top technical playing here, a little bit of jazz in there, a little bit of a bluesy sound as well. So, first of all, from a technical standpoint, and just to point out why Thumbs Carllile plays this way, that he started playing the guitar aged 8, and his sister won a resonator guitar, and he started playing that, and then his dad got him a Silvertone guitar, but the guitar was too big. He couldn't get his hand around the guitar, and he couldn't get his thumb over the top of the guitar, so he put it on his lap and just started to learn to play that way, and just never stopped. He just continued to learn, and obviously became very good at playing in that style. And just to point out the differences between playing over the top and playing underneath. So when you're playing the guitar in the standard way of having your guitar just on your lap and having it vertically rather than horizontally, you'll find that when you come to play stretches, this is going to be the main advantage you'll get by playing it on your lap and having your hand over the top of the neck, is that if I'm playing in the G position, for example, here on my 3rd fret, and now I want to try and stretch up to, if I'm playing my standard major scale, I've demonstrated this before, because I've got smaller hands, I have to move in order to get that stretch. Going down to the A string as well. So that's my 3rd fret, 5th fret to the 7th fret. So my stretch, I can just about get that stretch in there. So if I'm now playing with my hand over the top of the guitar, if I place that with my little finger now on the 3rd fret, look at the stretch I can now get between my little finger and my thumb. I was maxed out to about here before when I was playing with my hand underneath the guitar. So a massive advantage that you get putting your hand over the top of the guitar is that you can now play a lot more notes in the same phrase without having to move your hand, because your fingers are already there. And now this stretch, that major scale that I was playing, is now really easy because I can extend that thumb all the way up, probably to the 10th fret if I'm stretching with that little finger. And if you've got bigger hands, it means you can go even further if you want to. So that's going to be the main difference. Another guy to check out on the channel is Jeff Healey. I've done a few videos on him, but he was a fantastic lead guitarist, blues player, kind of rock, hard rock-ish, but very much blues orientated with a bit of jazz thrown in. But he was just amazing playing over the top of the guitar. He was blind as well, so he felt his way around the guitar, but having that stretch is something that you don't get when playing underneath. But I'm going to attempt to play the same kind of thing that Roger's playing here. I will slow it down a bit and play through the notes, or attempt to. I think we've got 2 very distinct sections here in the lead solo, so we'll have a little listen. Did I take it back far enough? I think maybe that's at the right point. Let's just let it run until the solo.
Wacka do, wacka do, wacka do, wacka do, wacka do, wacka do. Thumbs don't play with them.
Okay, I'm going to stop it there. So that's that first section. Obviously, this is a short song, a short performance in a short solo, but we've got this start in E, and we're pretty much, if you know your extended pentatonic shape, that's pretty much where you want to base this to begin with, because we've got this like that, and we've got this little string skip. And we've actually got a little hammer on there as well. So we've got this. And there's that tiny little bit of jazz just popping its head in there. The little run that we have there, chromatic rundown. Like that. It just adds something to it. And by the way, the Batman shirt that we've got in shot, it looks more like a Batman jumper. So Thumbs Carllile gets some extra brownie points from me for being a Batman fan. But back into the solo. So we have this little rundown. So that's that first phrase. Okay, so now we've got trying to. This is just top playing, but the notes he's throwing together here really do follow on quickly from one another. So it's going to be a rough approximation that we have here. So we were, and then we have a little run up. Okay, so we've then got, by the way, something I didn't mention is when we have this little semitone rundown and we've got this. Now here, this is where we've got this B7th chord. So he's moving with those chords in the background, or at least that change over to that B7th. So that's why it's got a little bit of that jazzy sound. He's playing with the chord changes here. And as we then progress, we've got the and we've got this. Let's have a little listen. He plays a little run towards the end, so I want to try and get it down at least relatively close. And then he just has a really cool line there at the end. So we've got this. Okay, maybe open string here. And we've got. I might take it from the end of that last section just to get my bearings. And we're now ascending up to the run. So we've got the. There we go, that would be it. So I'm not going to attempt to play that really fast because I haven't practiced it, but all of this playing here is so subconscious that Thumbs Carllile just plays through it as if it's nothing, with great technique on the right hand as well. The synchronization, something that I haven't even mentioned, that all of these picks are going to be absolutely spot on, and they are. And I think when he's then completed that run, it might have. There might be a little addition of a run, like I said, right at the end there, going into the E again. Really cool playing all the way through from not only Roger from that rhythm standpoint, but the lead as well. Really cool stuff. And the other thing is that if you are playing this in that extended shape, you can start to just have a little play around with this. Just remember these positions because you'll be here anyway. So if you just know that basic pentatonic shape, just remember that. And you can start throwing those in. If you then do have a change to that B7th, that's where you'd have that. And you can start to have a little experiment around with some of the same notes in that area, but as you change to that B7th, you'll find that it takes it to another place, but then it's all about when we get back to resolving to your E. So then it'll make sense. Any kind of run that you're throwing together, if you have changed from that B7th, make sure that you resolve it on the E when that next chord change comes in. But top level playing, we might just watch it to the end just because it's a great performance, but it's really nice to watch the rapport between the band and Roger just doing what he does best.
I'm straight and big Cadillac, you got girls in the front and got don't make fun of me right there in the back. You got mine in the sack, hands on the wheel and your shoulders right back. We always do a highly informal show anyway. The higher we get, the more informal we are. I hear tell you're doing well, good things have come to you. I wish I had your good luck charm. You had to do wacka do, wacka do, wacka do, wacka do, wacka do, ba-do, ba-da-ba-da.
And there we have it. So, I mean, just a quick word on Thumbs Carllile, because he was one of those players that was around in the 50s and early 60s as well. He actually met Les Paul. This was in the early 60s, and Les Paul was really impressed with Thumbs Carllile and his playing. So they recorded 2 albums at Les Paul's house. And this was, just a few years before he then joined up with Roger Miller. He joined up with Roger in 1964 and played with him all the way through to 1972, I believe. But he appeared at the Grand Ole Opry as well during the 50s, and that was with little Jimmy Dickens. That was in the early 1950s. So he was one of those guys that was around the music scene for a very long time, and having that history with Les Paul, but then supporting artists such as Roger, you can tell that he's a top player. And it really does underline the fact that it doesn't really matter how you learn to play to begin with. You can just play how you want to play, and just it isn't the case that, I mean, sometimes it is the case that players have to change the way they play because of a disability or something along those lines, that they physically can't play in the standard way. But that wasn't the case with Thumbs Carllile. He just started playing with the thumb and the hand over the top because he couldn't get his thumb over the top and the hand underneath the guitar. His hands literally weren't big enough. So it's just the way that he started to play. And I always say about just playing your own way and trying not to copy any other players. Certainly when we're talking about when Thumbs Carllile was starting to learn to play, when he was 8 years of age, you didn't have YouTube, of course, and even TV. He wouldn't have seen people playing regularly, so he would have just heard it and learned to play by listening to other players and trying to simulate and emulate what they were doing, what he was hearing. So the fact that he could do that over the top of the guitar meant that he could do it. It didn't suffer at all. The most important thing is the end sound, and this is why sometimes when you are trying to copy other players and you are looking at them, you struggle to get the same sound, because rather than getting the sound with your own physiology and the way that you are made up as a human, you're trying to do it in the way that the person is playing it, and you might not be made the same way. So a great example here of a way of playing the guitar that is so effective. Like I said, this is top technical play, and in order to play this just the standard way with the hand underneath the guitar would take a hell of a lot of practice. I've just had a rough go at it there, but I would have to practice this quite a few times in order to start getting it up to speed, to get the alternate picking there, and just to get it to sound the way that Thumbs Carllile gets it to sound here. But thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Like I said, it's going to be a little bit of a shorter video for tonight because it's only a minute and a half performance here and footage that we're looking at, but there's plenty packed in there, especially from an entertainment point of view. You really can't underestimate the importance of having an entertaining performance as well as a technically impressive performance, because sometimes bands fall into the trap and artists fall into the trap of being technically great, but it's not entertaining. And sometimes people just want to be entertained as well as listen to great music. And that is certainly what we get here with Roger Miller and Thumbs Carllile as well. And I love the song as well, the Do Wacka Do. Just the fact of saying that the girl that he's talking about seems to be doing really well, and he wishes that he was doing well and that she had a do wacka do, and it's pretty much, insert any other words there. But like I said, just that novelty song, but it's a really well written song, and the way that it's performed just adds so much to it as well. Thank you guys so much for joining me tonight on this live analysis. If you haven't seen one of these before, welcome, and if you're looking to catch up on this later on and you're not watching this live, I do these on a Wednesday night, 12 midnight, that's Greenwich Mean Time. So check Google for your time zones to catch one of these live in the future. But thank you guys for joining me tonight, and I will catch you guys at the next one. If you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you at the next video. Rock!